Let's now go to Matt Schlapp, who is the chairman of the American Conservative Union. Matt, good to have you here. My first question to you is, it doesn't look like Mexico is paying for the wall. Is that going to be a problem for the president?
No, I don't think anybody ever expected a check to show up with FedEx, Katie. I think the real question, what the president was saying, is that we're going to have a change in the bilateral economic relationship between America and Mexico. And I think we've already seen some pretty big announcements with American companies, shelving plans to build plants in Mexico and instead building those plants in America. And I think we see with the NAFTA negotiations, the real question is, will the American economy grow or see gains of over $25 billion because of this change in posture with Mexico? My prediction at the end of the Trump presidency, you will see that.
Just to be clear, nobody expected Mexico to pay for this. I'm sorry, Matt. I was on the campaign
trail
for 510 days.
I said nobody expected a check to show up on FedEx. Did you expect that?
Donald Trump
did you expect the check to show up via FedEx on the White House desk? I did not.
I reported on the president saying Mexico would pay for the wall repeatedly, and I heard him say it with the crowds had a call and response with it.
Did you hear what I said?
And then there was some talk about potentially making visas cost more. That's how Mexico would end up paying for it. It was never talk about Mexico losing money in terms of plants or anything like that. There was some roundabout proposal out there, but it didn't look like what you're talking about.
Look, I don't blame you for making the very clear case of looking at Donald Trump's words. My point is that there's something beyond those words in terms of the economic relationship between Mexico and America. And in essence, the American economy has just been giving a lot of economic aid to Mexico and, as the president says, negotiating bad deals. And we thought that we could build Mexico up by cavalierly shedding American jobs. And you have to admit, there's been a change in those policies. We'll see whether those policies accrue to the benefit of the American worker. I think in many cases they will.
Here's what I will give you. I was talking to a man in Ohio during the campaign, and I asked him, what if the president doesn't build the wall? And his response was, it's okay, I trust whatever he does. I trust his instincts. If the wall does not go up, is he going to pay for it politically? Is it going to be a problem for him come the 2020 election?
I think it's a problem, Katie, but I also think it's a problem for the Democrats if they block any attempt to build that wall. And I think that's the problem here. You know, President Obama, Hillary Clinton, these other Democrats at the national level all voted to secure our southern border. They voted for fencing. You know this. You've covered this. It's all a silly word game. In the end, we have a porous southern border, and any politician who's smart will realize the benefit of making sure that we have security at the southern border when it comes to drugs and when it comes to people entering our country illegally. That's really something we should all agree on. Any politician who stands up against that, there'll be consequences for that.
Do you not concede one thing, that it's a bit wild to say we shouldn't be listening to what the president said?
I absolutely think you should listen to the president say what the president says, and I listened to what the president said, and I always took when he said that Mexico will pay for the wall because I'm going to change our policies to the Mexican economy, to the Mexican government. And I think there's a lot of people who know that when he said that, that's what he meant, Katie. But I don't blame you for taking him literally at his words. Go for it. I just think the American people are smarter than that.
I don't know. I talked maybe I talked to a lot of folks out there who said that when he said Mexico was going to pay for the wall, that they expected Mexico to pay for the wall, not the American taxpayer or the Pentagon.
They were going to write a check and mail it to us.
Which is what is happening now. Matt Schlapp, good to have you.